My name is Arya and my twin sister, Lila, is the mirror image of me, identical in every curve of our faces, every strand of our dark hair, every flicker in our hazel eyes. But our paths couldn't have diverged more sharply, like rivers splitting from the same source, one rushing toward calm waters, the other crashing into jagged rocks. Folks around town whispered that I was unhinged, a storm trapped in human form. The shrinks at Willowbrook Mental Health Facility dressed it up nicer. They called it severe emotional dysregulation, a storm of feelings I couldn't always rein in. To me, it's simpler. I feel the world in overdrive. Happiness hits like a tidal wave, swelling my heart until it aches. And fury? That's the inferno that landed me here. It started when we were kids, back in our gritty hometown on the edge of the city. I was 15 when I lost it completely. Some punk from the neighborhood cornered Lila behind the old brick school, yanking her ponytail, like she was a rag doll, hauling her toward the shadowed lot where the streetlights never reached. She was sobbing, her pleas slicing through the humid evening air. Something snapped in me, a red haze descended, and I don't recall grabbing that splintered wooden bench from the playground. All I remember is the crack of bone, the kids' howl echoing off the alley walls, and the crowd's stares pinning me like spotlights. They weren't watching him, they were gaping at me, the girl with fire in her veins. They branded me a monster, a wild thing. My folks, already worn thin by factory shifts and endless bills, couldn't cope. Fear crept into their eyes when they looked at me, and soon enough, they handed me over to Willowbrook. Just like that, a decade vanished. 10 years in a sterile cube of a room, barely 60 square meters, peering at freedom through reinforced glass and steel grids. My companions. Pills that dulled the edges and the distant wails of souls as fractured as mine.
Truth be told, I don't hate it here. The quiet suits me, no chaos, no demands. I devour books from the meager library cart, everything from philosophy tomes to gritty thrillers. And I train. Relentlessly. Pull-ups on the window bars until my palms bled raw, crunches on the thin mattress, shadowboxing the empty air to channel the thunder inside. My frame stayed slim, but it turned to forged iron, muscles coiled like springs, endurance that could outlast a marathon. The only shadow over those years was Lila. She got Mom's gentle spirit, all empathy and softness, while I drew Dad's raw intensity, the kind that scorches. The day they carted me away, she wept until her voice cracked. Arya, it should have been me, she choked out. I'm the weak one. I stung her cheek with a sharp slap, the one and only time I ever raised a hand to her. Say that again, and I'll bust out of here and shake sense into you. Live, Lila. Be joyful. Do it for us both. She swore she would, her promise a fragile thread binding us. A year later, she showed up with a guy in tow, beaming through the visiting room haze. We're tying the knot, she said, her hand in his. Marcus Hale, tall, chiseled jaw, but his stare slithered like a snake, evasive and laced with smugness. When his gaze landed on me, it carried a whiff of disdain, like I was some exhibit in a zoo. I squeezed Lila's fingers until she winced. I don't trust him, sis. Reconsider. She just offered that wistful curve of her lips. With my fortune, it's a wonder anyone wants me. Mom and Dad are fading, he vows to look after me. I wanted to shatter the plexiglass barrier, roar until the walls shook, but what sway did the crazed twin hold? The ceremony went on without me, locked away. Lila visited monthly, always with small tokens, a cluster of ripe pears, fresh scones from the bakery. She'd chatter about her fresh start, the baby on the way, little Mia's first steps. But I knew her better than anyone, those tales rang hollow. Each time, she arrived a shade gaunter, shadows pooling under her eyes, her grins brittle as autumn leaves. Come summer's blaze, she'd show up in high-neck blouses and full-length pants, claiming modesty for a wedded woman. Baloney. She was concealing horrors. Visitation day dawned heavy, the sky a slate blanket mirroring the dread churning in my gut. The fury I'd bottled for a decade stirred, a predator pacing its cage, scenting prey. The lock buzzed, the heavy door groaned open, and there she was, Lila, but not. A hollow shell, frail as a reed in wind, clad in a faded tunic with frayed hems, collar hiked to her jawline despite the swelter. Strands escaped her unkempt braid, her cheeks hollowed, skin ashen. But her eyes, those twin pools of warmth, now stared vacant, drowned in sorrow, rimmed by a subtle lavender smudge under one cheekbone, slathered over with bargain bin concealer. She mustered a grin that twisted my insides. "Arya, you holding up?" Her tone quavered, brittle as frost. She plunked a sack of overripe apples on the scarred table, likely scavenged from a discount bin to pinch pennies. I didn't reply. I closed the distance, looming steady before her, and lifted a scarred hand to brush that mark. She flinched like a sparrow from a shadow. "It's fine," she mumbled. "Tripped on the stairs." "Stairs, huh?" My words came cool as steel. "And only one side of your face takes the hit. Must have been some tumble." She fidgeted, gaze dropping, fingers twisting knots. I scanned those hands, knuckles puffy and raw, nails bitten to stubs. Hands of a fighter clinging to survival, not a homemaker. The blaze ignited low in my belly. I inhaled sharp, forcing calm. "Why the long sleeves in this furnace, Lila?" "Sun bothers me." "Feeling off lately." That snapped it. I seized her wrist, she yelped, tugging back. "Arya, stop, it stings." Her pain was the spark on dry tinder. Brushing aside her protests, I shoved the fabric up. There it was, a canvas of torment. Lila's slender arms mapped in violet blooms, faded ochre patches, inflamed welts. Finger-shaped grips, lash-like streaks from leather or worse. I dropped her arm, my frame quaking, not terror, but a volcanic wrath dormant for years. "Marcus." "No doubt." "The fiend." Lila crumbled then, barriers shattering. She buried her face, sobs erupting like a long-buried spring, raw and wrenching, echoing off the blank walls. "Arya, please, rescue me." She sank to her knees, clutching my legs. "He strikes me. Every day. His mom, his sister, they treat me like vermin. And Mia, he hurts Mia too." That pierced me, turning blood to ice. My 3-year-old niece, battered by her own father. I hauled her up, she wilted against me, spent. Cradling her swollen face, I met those mirrored eyes, now desolate. "Enough tears," I rasped, voice gravel. "They fix nothing. Spill it all from the start." I eased her onto my narrow cot, fetched water from the sink. She sipped amid hitches, then unleashed the torrent. Her words were daggers, carving verdicts for that clan. Perched there, shoulders shuddering, she gripped the cup like a lifeline. "Early on, he played nice," she began, voice fracturing. "Around Mom and Dad. But once I settled in their cramped bungalow, nightmare unveiled. Marcus slaved at a dingy warehouse, scraping by on peanuts, yet squandered it nightly on horse races and digital slots. Our honeymoon cash. Gone in weeks," she wept. I questioned it, he backhanded me. "First strike. Mind your place, girl, it's my cash." That blow birthed a ritual. Losses meant lashes for her, wins. Still blows, blaming her for his shortfall. My nails bit my palms, drawing crescents, but pain evaded me. "Worse than him." Lila shivered. "His mother, Mrs. Hale, a venomous tyrant, domineering as a queen bee. She eyed me like an intruder pilfering her prize. Tormented me inch by inch. My meals. Too spicy or dull, she'd scrap the lot into the compost, forcing restarts. Scrubbed the floors spotless. Still filthy. And the laundry, she made me hand scrub their unmentionables, even Gina's. I squeezed my lids shut, bile rising at Lila bent over a tub, scrubbing stains from strangers. And Gina? I growled. Lila shook her head. Divorced, back with her brat, leeching off mom. Treated me like hired help, tossing garments everywhere, barking orders. Her boy, Kyle, 5 and rotten to the core, hounded Mia daily. My eyes flew open. What did he do to her? Fresh tears. Mia's just 3. Kyle swiped her toys, shoved her down, hawked loogies in her meals. I'd intervene, Gina'd charge in, screeching, "Who are you to correct my angel? Your kid's fatherless trash anyway." She'd egg him on, give her what for, kid, teach the weakling. Mrs. Hale cackled from the sidelines. Kids roughhousing. Mia's tougher, let the cousin win. And Marcus, Mia's dad. My tone scraped raw. Lila's head bowed. He ignored it. Ranted women birthed useless girls, not boys. And yesterday. She faltered. Out with it, I barked, she jolted. He staggered home sloshed, bets tanked. Mia wailed as Kyle yanked her curls. He exploded, quiet, worthless whelp. Her cries amplified, he struck her cheek. I mouthed the words, throat closing. Lila nodded, streams carving paths. 5 fingerprint on her tiny face. I lunged to shield her, begged, he hauled me to the lavatory, bashed my skull on the porcelain. Thought I'd black out, Arya. Couldn't draw breath. These arm marks. From Mrs. Hale and Gina. Instead of halting him, they piled on. Gina raked me with a brush, Mrs. Hale crammed soiled rags in my mouth to muzzle me. We have 3 kids. Lily's 6, twins at 4. He visits their place upstate, calls it business trips. The revelation gutted her. While Victoria writhed in agony from the Vanguard's barbs, Landon fathered a secret brood, lavishing them with what he'd denied her. The guard approached. "Ma'am, time to go." Boss's orders. She fled to her car, dialing Kira, motive confirmed, affair, kids, financial trails. Kira mobilized, warrants incoming, Sophia to be interviewed. Home loomed empty, but Victoria dove into Landon's study PC. Password, his late sister's birthday. Files orderly, patient files, journals, until our future folder. Hundreds of images, Sophia in tender embraces, family picnics, kids with Landon's dimpled smile. Emails span 6 years, from flirty notes to calculated plots. One from post-surgery, "Sweetheart, the deed's done." Slipped the Vanguard in during her gallbladder fix, no more baby worries from her end. Our life starts now. Jokes about dosing her with ineffective meds, feigning concern. Bank scans, $4,000 monthly to Sophia for child support, a co-op deed in her name, college funds. Divorce drafts, wait for her complications to worsen, claim caregiver burnout for sympathy and assets. Numb, she copied it all to a drive. Kira called, tissue recheck, grade 3 now. He's looking at aggravated assault, endangerment. Up to 18 years. Search team en route, but beware, he might bolt. Keys jangled at the door. Vic? Home early, brought Ty, your favorite. Landon's voice, warm as ever from the hall. She left the emails glaring on screen, gripped the IUD jar from her bag. He entered, takeout bag swinging, grin fading to shock. What the? My files. Vic, this is private. She pivoted the monitor. His words stared back, the gift, the lies. Roses he'd clutched wilted on the rug. It's exactly what I think, she said, voice steel. Your medical necessity. Poisoning me for your side life. She thrust the jar forward. This was your surprise, eh? That shattered my last restraint. Patience evaporated, I surged upright. Lila gaped, alarmed. Arya, what now? I strode to the lone wall-mounted mirror, confronting my reflection, pallid skin, but eyes ablaze like embers. Then Lila's, ours, identical shells, hers crumbling, mine igniting. Sis, I pivoted, tone eerily serene. You didn't visit today. You came to trade places. She blanched, horror dawning. Arya, no, what madness. Trade lives, I locked gazes, unyielding. You bunker here, I venture out. No. She thrashed her head, snatching my hand. That home's a pit of vipers. You've endured this cage a decade, you'll shatter out there. The forms, the checks, how? I smirked, chill. Wrong, Lila. This cage honed me for beasts like them. See? I nodded at the bars. I've tamed worse here, caged ones. Out there's just loose predators. I gripped her shoulders. Hear me, you're sane, so you can't crush them. I'm the storm. Only chaos like me topples scum. Escape. Nah, I'm strolling the front gate, legit. I drew her to the mirror. Behold, we're seamless. Who spots Arya from Lila? She stared, quivering, flawless twins stared back. Time ticked, visits ended soon. Plan simple, I rushed. Swap garb. You don the gown, I'll take yours. Arya, but want Mia thrashed forever? You decaying there? Trust, 10 years weren't wasted. I prepped for this. I outlined it swift. You're Arya now, safe in this nook. Staff's kind, just puzzled by me. Stay mellow, nod, shake head if quizzed. They're accustomed, areas subdued today. Chow down, nap, browse my stack of novels. Unwind. I bored into her, projecting steel calm. Idle here. I'll purge that lair exact toll, spring Mia. Oath. Her despair flickered to tentative light, trapped, she risked nil. She dipped her chin. Caution. Always. We traded hasty. Her worn threads clung, reeking of damp rot, dread, faint copper tang. Fury surged anew. I pocketed her ID, the tarnished keys. That shattered my last restraint. Patience evaporated, I surged upright. Lila gaped, alarmed. Arya, what now? I strode to the lone wall-mounted mirror, confronting my reflection, pallid skin, but eyes ablaze like embers. Then Lila's, ours, identical shells, hers crumbling, mine igniting. Sis, I pivoted, tone eerily serene. You didn't visit today. You came to trade places. She blanched, horror dawning. Arya, no, what madness. Trade lives, I locked gazes, unyielding. You bunker here, I venture out. No. She thrashed her head, snatching my hand. That home's a pit of vipers. You've endured this cage a decade, you'll shatter out there. The forms, the checks, how? I smirked, chill. Wrong, Lila. This cage honed me for beasts like them. See? I nodded at the bars. I've tamed worse here, caged ones. Out there's just loose predators. I gripped her shoulders. Hear me, you're sane, so you can't crush them. I'm the storm. Only chaos like me topples scum. Escape. Nah, I'm strolling the front gate, legit. I drew her to the mirror. Behold, we're seamless. Who spots Arya from Lila? She stared, quivering, flawless twins stared back. Time ticked, visits ended soon. Plan simple, I rushed. Swap garb. You don the gown, I'll take yours. Arya, but want Mia thrashed forever? You decaying there? Trust, 10 years weren't wasted. I prepped for this. I outlined it swift. You're Arya now, safe in this nook. Staff's kind, just puzzled by me. Stay mellow, nod, shake head if quizzed. They're accustomed, Arya's subdued today. Chow down, nap, browse my stack of novels. Unwind. I bored into her, projecting steel calm. Idle here. I'll purge that lair exact toll, spring Mia. Oath. Her despair flickered to tentative light, trapped, she risked nil. She dipped her chin. Caution. Always. We traded hasty. Her worn threads clung, reeking of damp rot, dread, faint copper tang. Fury surged anew. I pocketed her ID, the tarnished keys. In the loose patient smock, Lila shrank small. I crushed her in an embrace. Stay put. Await return. The buzzer tolled end. I exhaled, approached the exit. The shift nurse glanced, nodded. Mrs. Hale, heading out. I mimicked Lila's quiver smile, nodding. The ward gate clanged shut, a final knell. I emerged into the facility's foyer, summer glare assaulting after 10 years dim. Air thick with fumes, grit, urban din, but to me, victory's breath. I was unchained fury, keys biting my palm. Marcus, Mrs. Hale, Gina, Kyle, your reckoning dawns. Bus ride blurred into a trek through smoggy blocks per Lila's map. Their dwelling hunkered in a labyrinthine slum lane, structures huddled like weary sentinels, cables snaking wild. Stench of drains and decay assaulted. I halted at a sagging ranch-style shack, gate flaking rust. Here, my pristine Lila withered. Hands shook inserting the key, hinges wailed. Inside, disarray. Garments strewn, dishes crusted from midday meal buzzing flies. Floors tacky, air foul with neglect. Then, Mia, huddled in gloom by a battered dresser leg, skeletal, porcelain pale in a threadbare frock split at the seam. Clutching a mangled, limbless rag doll. Doors creak startled her, she peered up, mistaking me for Mom. No joyful dash, instead, she recoiled, doll crushed to chest, eyes wide with wariness. A toddler fearing her guardian. Heart splintered. What savagery warped innocence thus? I softened my features, knelt low, dredging a tender lilt long and used. Mia, sweetie, Mommy's home. She quivered, unblinking. Come here, love. Arm extended. She wavered, glancing past me, bracing for the storm. It voiced, crawled back, eh. A nasal sneer slithered from the shadows. Mrs. Hale lumbered forth, stout, sallow, in garish-patterned loungers, fanning lazily. Out gallivanting. Bet visiting that loony kin. Brought scraps, or just your sorry mug to leech. I rose slow, eclipsing Mia, meeting her beady glare wordless. Probing, unyielding. She faltered, this doormat dared defy. What are you gawking at? Fan jabbed my way. Cat got your tongue. Fancy gouging those peepers. I curved lips faint, deliberate. Pardon, ma'am. Missed that. A piercing whine cut in, Ma, why waste breath? Whip up supper, guts rumbling. Gina emerged from the den, plump as her damn, pocked skin, teased platinum mop. Trailing, Kyle, pudgy 5-year-old, swaggering mini-tyrant. Spotting Mia, he bolted. Doll time. Gimme. Snatched it ruthless. Mia wailed, no, cousin, mine. Tough. Yours re-communal. He hurled at wall ward. Junk anyway. Spun, booted her shoulder. Quit sniveling, or worse incoming. Mia toppled to grime, sobs choking off in terror. Mrs. Hale and Gina chortled, spectacle grand. Attaboy, Gina preened. Real men dominate, not like that sniveler. Rage thundered, decades dam bursting. Smile vanished. Kyle, emboldened by silence, advanced boot raised. Told ya, hush. Mid-swing, iron gripped his calf. He toppled, yowling, but vice held. House hushed grave. Kyle's saucers bulged, impunity shattered, mommy never intervened. Release, you hag. Dare paw me. He writhed. Silent, I tightened. A-I-E. Mom, Gran, this witch is snapping my bone. Gina lunged, claws bared. Heavens, Lila, unhand him. I parried her swipe, snared her forearm. Unhand. She flailed, my hold vice-like. Gina, flat-toned, discipline better. Kid or not, no bully. Touch Mia again. Squeeze elicited dual shrieks. And its limbs for keeps. Ma aid. Gina howled. Mrs. Hale roused, quaking fury. This serf rebelled. Madwoman. She snatched a broom. Swelled head, I'll thrash humility in. Lashes rained my back, I stood stone, hospital scars tougher. Released them, duo scrambled. Emboldened, she hammered on. I'll pound sense till you kneel. I pivoted fluid, snagged the handle. She yanked, futile. Eyes locked, hers venom, mine void. Wrenched, she lurched. Snap, wood splintered. Debris at her toes. New era, rules apply. Gazed at heaving crone, wrist-rubbing Gina, muling Kyle. Supper calls. Menu tonight, ma'am. She sputtered, that spoiled cod from market. Stew it, brine heavy, parched. Can't squander my coin on your lot. Ah, Lila's infamous slop, endured eternally. As you wish. Left their stupor kitchen-bound. Basin reeked, I prepped, dumped salt avalanche, simmered to char acrid haze billowed. Table set, stale grains, limp greens, scorched sludge. Ma'am, Gina, Kyle, chow. Mrs. Hale plopped, forked a hunk, crammed. Face contorted crimson to plum, spewed. Gaw. Salt mine. Poison plot. Serene, I speared greens. Pour your specks, briny, dry. Suiting. Suiting. Bah. Rage boiled, she seized scalding pot. I'll brain you. As it arced, thud. Fist met wood, table quaked, crockery danced. Down. Not shouted but thunder. Her grip faltered, meeting my feral stare. No eat. Waste. Shall I assist? Duty demands respect. Circled, spoon char, open, ma'am. You lunatic. She shoved back. I clamped jaw, maw gaped. Shoved sludge. Savor, I hissed. Relish Lila's years of honor. Labor's due. She hacked, fluids mingling, lump lodged. Gulp, I ordered. Gina bolted up. Lila, release ma. Forcing her. Claws flew, misjudged, I free-handed. Crack, palm met flesh like thunderclap. Gina reeled, cratered wall. Cheek ballooned, print stark. Ears told, disbelief dawned. Bully struck back by trash. Freed Mrs. Hale, she retched floor ward. Faced Gina. Stings. She quailed, shame hot. Dare strike kin. Merely tap. Advanced, she wall-hugged. Crave true thrashing. Like you and ma aided Marcus last eve. Recited Lila's tale precise. Gina blanched ghost. W.H. How? All known. Grin wolfish. Your chlorakes, ma's rag gag. Fancy sample. I'd Kyle's soiled hose heap. Gina screeched, bolted boudoir, lock clicked. Mrs. Hale scuttled hers, slammed. Kyle, witnessing rout, soiled pants, fled silent. Quiet cloaked, save Mia and I stew steaming mocking. Turned, Mia cornered, eyes saucer-wide, fear ebbing to wonder. Ache bloomed. Ditched spoon, raided kitchen. Lila spilled, they hoarded delicacies in locked cooler. Rifled, poultry, cured meats, dairy, berries. Drumstick, custard, Mia's stashed grains warmed. Plated lavish, shreds atop. Dig in, pedal. Voice honeyed. Fill up. No more thefts, no blows. Beside her. Mia eyed warily, then aroma won. Spoon trembled, first bite, tears cascaded. Not fright, relief. I stroked her spine mute. All yours, baby. Mommy's watch. She devoured, slurped pot. Done, she paused, then neck-hugged frail. Mommy, changed. Embraced. Mommy's done cowering. Nightfall, I cradled sleeping Mia, profound slumber, safety's gift long denied. I vigilant, ears pricked to adjacent wrestles, rodents, not foes. Marcus's return loomed, Lila's intel, warehouse quit at 10, home slurred by midnight. Prompt 11:45, engine growled lane ward, brakes shrieked, footfalls fumbled, oaths flew. Curse luck, wiped out. Door. Mia stirred, burrowed. Shoo, love. Mommy guards. Crash, portal battered. Unlatched deliberate. Towering frame lurched in, stench whiskey sweat grease. Shirt rumpled, optics crimson. The tormentor. Mia's slapper. Lila, show. Slur bellowed. Hid where? No sight, he snatched tumbler, my cleaned one, hurled den ward. Shatter, shard sprayed. Mia shrilled, scary, mommy, daddy mad. Clutch tight. Hush, tucked. Mommy handles. Blanketed her, eyes shut, ears plugged. Quick fix. Exited. He leered. Ah, pet. Thirst rages, water, now. Stock still, yards off. Frown creased. Wife bolted usual. Deaf? Defiant today, lesson time. Stumbled close, mood foul from losses. Obey, or. Palm rose, habitual cuff, Lila's scourge, Mia's fresh scar. Arced, halted. Wrist snared. Shock widened his. Tug futile, clamped. What, release? Sobriety dawned partial. Frail Lila, grip tighten. Let. Free fist haymakered, bruiser, denture shatter. Held fast, dodged, grazed lobe. Bewilderment deepened. Darling, coup venom sweet, rough shift. Wench. Danger sensed, yanked, crunch, joint popped. Howl pierced, clarity crashed. My wrist, what? Buckled. Unyielding, hoisted. Beatings reflex, Not. Lila. Who? Hiss. Wife dear. Smirk. The sink slammer. Backhand, mine, decade-fueled gale. He reeled, cranium wall thud, sprawled cheek bloated, bloodied. Dazed. Female felled him. Ma, Gina, help. Terror wail. Lila's berserk, beating me. Boudoir's mute. Rats quaked sealed. Abandonment hit, pain, shame, booze birth berserk. Kill you. Lurch bull-like, arms grapple. Sigh ponderous. Met charge dipped, hair yanked down, Fist solar plunge. Thump, gut hollowed, eyes bugged, drool bile spewed. Gasped mute. Hair gripped, for Mia, murmur ear close. Yanked up, for Lila. Slap redux. Dragged, sack-like, to privy, fetid nook. Sink fondness. Basin filled. Head dunked. Revive, love. Thrashed aquatic. Held firm, surfaced gasp, resubmerged. Chill dip. Lila's pleas rang, your delight. Bubbles, gurgles. Surfaced, ashen, orbs rolled, filth streamed. Terror absolute, giant coward, bladder lost, pungent. Foul. Dropped, he hacked, purged innards. Gazed contempt. Hands, once page-turners, bar grip, now refuse holler. Left whimpering, exited. Doors cracked, slammed, voyeurs glimpsed, dread deepened. Kitchen, vomited stew pot. Scheme bloomed, poetic. Lila named Mrs. Hale puppeteer, Marcus brute. Cripple bite, shatter loyalty. Laundry nook, tub soured deluges. Crest, Mrs. Hale's intimates. Grin spread. Stove reignited, pot water staffed, undies plunged, boil roiled. Reek infernal. Marcus crawled, beseeched Ma's portal. Ma save. She's possessed. Begone. Solo madness. Betrayal stung, enabler spurned. Turned, spied my brew. Ladled murky brew. Sip. Blank. What tonic? Cure beater husbands, thankless spawn. Ma's whisper obeying strikes. Imbibe, dear. Sniffed, blanched comprehension. No, fiend. Crawled retreat. Fiend. Versus drownings, child slaps, slop force. Mercy. Hair jerked, maw pride, broth flooded. Writhe, swallow enforced. Portal burst, Mrs. Hale beheld brew, sun gulping. Orbs flipped, Lord, no. Fainted thud. Ideal. One felled. Marcus convulsed. Ma's out, scram to quarters. Moan? Whole tub awaits. Terror-fueled, he slunk away. Peace reigned. Dawn, crypt still. Rose bathed me a gentle, raided hoard for feast, seared steak strips, sunny eggs. She gobbled, spark reigniting gaze. Boudoirs sealed, trio comatose, daring no peek. Ignored, nourished Mia, cued animations. 9 sharp, authoritative rap. Who? Cops, open. Grin, swift. Admitted, grizzled vet, fresh-faced rook, stern. Rook-eyed my inherited bruises. Mrs. Hale. Marcus's spouse, Lila. Affirm. Complaint, you savaged him brutal. Marcus emerged pathetic, swollen, bandaged, limping theatric. Spotted badges, officers, behold. She mauled. Pointed ruin. Her enum, she's unhinged. Kin to that asylum nut, contagion. Cuff her. Mrs. Hale, Gina peaked, chorused, truth, she battered hubby, ma, me. Gina flashed welt. Vet squinted, burly Marcus versus lithe me, resolute. Mrs. Hale, true. Assaulted them. No denial. Yes, sir, self-preserve. Their glee peaked, confessed, nab. Continued, they struck first. Hubby, ma, sis-in-law, me. Lies. Marcus bade. Never. Vet, assault query. If spouse batters till scarred, asphyxiates basin, bloats face, assault. Paused, grasping. Evidence? Room rifled, Lila's dossier, hospital tucked. Tabled. 3 moons passed, cracked ribs, blunt force per doc. Snapshot, 2 moons, shattered snout, self-trip, he claimed. Dossier dump, arm welts, spine stripes, lash scars, gashes. 7 years hell. Complain. Neighbors, matrimonial spat. Station. Resolve private. Locked Marcus's tremble. Sleeves hiked, recent, eve afore last, he cuffed me his cheek, I blocked, he lavatory dragged, drowned. Ma Gina pinned. Duo gawked us, then them. Endured 7 winters, voice quaked feigned. Last eve, sloshed rampage, door kick, hurl, me target. Snapped, retaliated. To Marcus, 1 strike from me, thousands his. To Badges, if his blows home affair sans cuffs, mine too. Vet exhaled, case weary. To Marcus sharp, you, hulking, and her petite. Scar her thus, she reciprocates, you summon us. With this file, you'd rot, abuse, battery grave. Jail itch. Marcus ashed. Warning, civilized or we return, harsher. Softer to me, Mrs. Hale, repeat offense. Precinct direct, file in hand. Handle it. Clear? Grateful, sir. Curtsied, teared. Departed. Trio rooted, gazes venom fear brew. Law flipped, they'd scheme sly. Day dragged taut, hush preblitz. Whispers seeped, plotting. Overheard Mrs. Hale, unhinged, not Lila. Arya, the ward escapee, masquerading. Marcus, Lila's feather soft, this brute. Asylum spawn. Gina, Lord, explains savagery on bro. Hush, Mrs. Hale bit. Shame if gossiped. Now, ma? Marcus. Can't cohabit killer. Pause, pacing. Unhinged recaged. Scheme hatched, no solo grab, she ox strong, spills all. Drug her, soporifics in broth, drama style. Weaken. Gina shrill. Massive dose, log sleep. Bind tight. Call Willowbrook, escaped Arya here, secured. If skip sip. Marcus fretted. She shuns our board. Daughter won't. Mrs. Hale smirked. Eve, feign truce. I grovel, ma aired, family mends. Smart, she'll feign buy-in. Dose kids broth separate, for granddaughter's vigor. Won't deny ma's gift. Or consume self. Pulse hammered. Vipers, targeting Mia. Eve mirrored, lavish spread, baked fowl patties. Bruise duo mum, Mrs. Hale morphed, beaming. Lila, join. Drumstick proffered. Yester mine, sorry. Age clouds, pardon? Gina mumbled, sis, forgive. Circus absurd, I mirrored grin. No grudge, ma. Kin. Marcus eased. Feast. Afternoon brew, foul nectar for Mia, scrawny dear. Bowl steamed before us. Feed her. Mia's delight sparked. Mrs. Hale's smile mask, eyes predatory. Spooned, aroma tempted. Looks divine, ma, thanks. Mia odd expectant. Halted, hot. Blue dramatic, accident splat, floor splashed. Oops, clumsy me, wasted your toil. Mia whimpered loss. Trio's hope curdled rage. Marcus fisted covert, impotent. No fuss, Mrs. Hale gritted. Remake. Sated here, dig in, all. Build brawn. Plot foiled, patience frayed. No guile next, brute force. Bedded with Mia, vigilant, hospital vigilance etched. Midnight creak, prowlers. Feigned slumber, breath steady. Portal eased, Shadows tripled, Marcus rope-wielding, bandaged, Gina tape-armed, Mrs. Hale gag-toweled. Bed closing, whispers, out cold. Pounced. Not Marcus, Gina, softest. Twin heels gut pumped. Oof, wall crash, windlass heap. Mrs. Hale petrified, drop. Marcus halted. Lamp seized, Marcus skull smashed. Crack, blood flowed, stun. You. Choked him rear, Mrs. Hale shield necked. Marcus, one twitch, Ma's neck snaps. He iced, crimson-faced, Ma wriggle. Mia waked, terror sob. Quiet. Roar house wide. All mute. Marcus quaked, no, Ma. Demands? Laugh. Ropes intent. Bind me. Hauled Ma, snagged cord. Fine play. Shoved her Marcus ward, tumbled. Advanced rope coiled. Game on. Gina groaned, silence. Herded flock, giant, slob, hag to den, terror led. Living room dim, I bound them swift, wrists, ankles, sofa-gagged with towels. Mia peeked, I soothed, safe pedal, mommy's justice. Trio muffled please, eyes saucer terror. Listen, I loomed. 7 years hell ends. Confess, every strike torment. Record it. Phone propped, their garbled truths spilled, Marcus's rages, Ma's torments, Gina's jeers, Kyle's cruelties, all voiced, damning. Now to them, you rot. But first, reform. Untied partial, forced chores, scrub their filth, cook fair shares, no hides. Days blurred, I ruled iron, kind to Mia, merciless to abuse. Whispers reached aid workers, reports filed. Social services swooped, abuse probe launched. Marcus cuffed for battery, Ma and Gina charged aiding. Kyle to foster, Mia mine. Weeks on, I prepped return. Lila, thriving at Willowbrook, books, calm, awaited swap. Evening, I hugged Mia, auntie soon. Bus to facility, gate passed. Lila emerged, renewed, eyes bright. Done? Utterly. They pay eternal. Swapped back, she to Mia, free life. I to room, but lighter, beast slain, sister sword. Rage? Tamed, for now. But if shadows stir, I'm ready.